All right, so you're thinking about a career in civil service,
That's great.
which means you're looking at some pretty serious exams,
Yeah.
like IAS, CSS, or even the U.S. Foreign Service exam.
Huge exams.
But you know what?
What's that?
You've sent us some really good prep materials.
Awesome.
So we're going to do a deep dive into those,
Love it.
and we're going to pull out all the good stuff that's going to help you guys.
Help you prepare.
Yeah, conquer these tests.
That's what we're here for.
Okay, so first thing,
First things first.
know your exam.
Of course.
Sounds kind of basic, right?
Right.
But you would be so surprised how many people just kind of jump into studying
Oh, yeah.
without really looking at the specifics of what they're actually going to be tested on.
I've seen that so many times.
Like, you can't just use the same approach for every single exam out there.
Exactly.
They're all different beasts.
Yeah.
Like, if you're taking the IAS,
Right.
that's going to be a lot of focus on Indian polity and history. But if you're taking the U.S. Foreign Service exam, it's going to be global affairs
Totally different.
and situational judgment.
And you need to know that going in.
Yeah. It's like training for a marathon
Okay.
versus training for a weightlifting competition.
You can't use the same plan.
You've got to have the right roadmap right for the beginning.
Absolutely.
And speaking of marathons,
Oh, yeah.
that brings us to our next point, which is time management.
Love this one.
Because these are not tests that you can just cram for the night before.
No way.
This is a marathon.
You've got to be consistent,
You've got to be in it for the long haul.
which is great practice for civil service work anyway.
Right.
It's all about long-term planning and execution.
You're kind of already training for the job
Exactly.
as you're training for the exam.
I love that.
One thing that has helped me so much,
Oh, yeah.
and I know has helped a lot of students,
Yeah.
is this thing called the Pomodoro technique.
I'm familiar with that one.
Okay, so it's pretty simple.
Lay it on me.
25 minutes of focused study,
Okay.
followed by a 5-minute break.
Gotcha.
And you just keep cycling through that.
Makes sense.
It sounds so simple,
Right.
but it's amazing
Yeah, it really works.
for staying on track and not getting burnt out
Keeps you fresh.
because you can only focus for so long.
Yeah. Our brains aren't designed to just go and go and go.
You need those little breaks.
The science behind this is fascinating, actually.
Is it really?
Yeah, there's a lot of research that shows that short bursts of focused study
Yep.
with breaks in between are much more effective
Interesting.
for learning and retaining information.
You're just trying to power through for hours at a time.
Exactly.
So, if you're studying something like the dynasties of ancient India,
Right.
you could use the Pomodoro technique
Makes sense.
to focus on one dynasty per session
Great strategy.
and then use those 5-minute breaks to kind of review what you just learned.
And make some flashcards.
Perfect.
That's a great example.
Okay, so you've got your plan, you're managing your time, but what about those parts of the exams that you just don't like?
The ones you dread. We all
Yeah.
have them.
Everyone has those weak spots.
Absolutely.
For some people, it's essay writing.
Yeah.
Some people, it's like the quantitative aptitude section.
The math stuff.
Yeah. Or maybe it's the interview.
Oh, the interview.
That could be really scary for a lot of people.
It's definitely a challenge.
But you know what?
What's that?
You have to face those challenges head on
I agree.
because that's where the real growth happens.
You've got to push yourself outside of your comfort zone.
And a lot of people think that
Yeah.
like the Foreign Service exam
Okay.
is just about memorizing capitals
Right.
and current events.
But it's so much more than that.
So much deeper.
Yeah. You need critical thinking skills.
Exactly.
You need to be able to analyze complex global issues.
So how do you even figure out what your weaknesses are
That's a good question.
early enough to actually address them?
Well, first of all, you need to be self-aware.
Okay.
You need to be honest with yourself about what you struggle with.
Right.
But you also need to get feedback from other people.
That's true.
Like take practice tests.
Yeah.
Find a mentor.
Okay.
Or even join a study group.
That's a really good idea.
I was part of a study group when I was preparing for the CSS exam,
Nice.
and it was a lifesaver.
Yeah. What did you guys do?
Oh, we would quiz each other on different topics,
Yeah.
debate current affairs,
Cool.
and even role play the interview scenarios.
Oh, that's so smart.
It really helped to get comfortable with the format and the types of questions they might ask.
Yeah.
And it also just made the whole process a lot less isolating.
I like that.
Yeah, it's good to have that support system
Absolutely.
because studying for these exams can be tough.
It can be lonely.
Yeah, and it's easy to get discouraged.
And that brings us to our final point.
Hit me with it.
Consistency and positivity.
So important.
These exams are demanding. It's a marathon, not a sprint.
I said it before.
So you have to celebrate your progress,
Absolutely.
acknowledge those small wins,
Yes.
And don't be afraid to ask for help when you need it.
You don't have to do this alone.
And something that's often overlooked
What's that?
is the importance of your mindset.
Your mindset is everything.
Because resilience, adaptability,
Oh, I like it.
a growth mindset,
These are so crucial,
these are the things that are going to help you succeed.
not just in the exam, but in your career as well.
Because setbacks are going to happen.
Oh, yeah.
It's inevitable.
It's how you respond to those setbacks that matters.
And it's not just about passing the exam.
Right.
It's about developing those skills
Exactly.
and that mindset that will serve you well,
Throughout your career.
no matter what path you choose.
It's a journey?
So here's something to think about.
Okay.
Think of someone you admire,
Mm.
someone who's really successful.
Gotcha.
Chances are their journey was not a straight line to the top.
Probably not.
They faced challenges, they learned from their setbacks, and they kept pushing forward.
That's how you succeed.
And that same spirit is going to serve you incredibly well on this path.
You've got this.
All right, that's our deep dive on civil service exam prep.
Hope you enjoyed it.
We'll see you next time.
Take care.
Bye.